Welcome to the Refined Strength podcast. This is a solo episode, and I'm going to try to do more of these going forward. We'll see how it goes. But this was a conversation that I've actually had a few times this week, and it's been with current clients, past clients coming back, as well as prospective new clients. So I felt like it's one of those things that is definitely not overplayed, but it's talked about a lot from coaches who are talking about this stuff, but it can never be talked about enough. So I'm going to talk about it. And it is signs that you are not ready for a fat loss phase. So there's a few things that are like really clear when I get to know someone who's either new client, existing client who is like wanting to do a fat loss phase, or someone who is just asking for advice on if they can start a fat loss phase or how they can start one, or what they should do or something like that. And so I'm going to go through those different signs that are like super clear reasons that you are not ready for a fat loss phase. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people think that, oh, well, I want to lose fat, so I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to start. And while a lot of people have that ability and they do just fine, a lot of people don't. And there's reasons why fat loss is not always the best phase for you, depending on like what's going on with your body, with your life, your mental health, all of those things. Hi. Yes. Hello. Okay. So the number one reason you are not ready for a fat loss phase is because you just finished a fat loss phase like less than 6 months ago. So the reason this is not a good idea for you to start one if you were just in one is because your metabolism is simply not ready for that fat loss phase. Whether it's been in a contest prep or more of a lifestyle fat loss phase, it is simply just like your body's internal system and like how it got to that place where you got stage lean or you lost a lot of weight. Your thyroid, your sex hormones, like all of your internal systems, they were just put through that. So they are not ready to be put through it again because you haven't taken the time to not only heal from that phase, because it is a stress on the body, but just build your metabolism back up. You have to have somewhere to pull your calories from, and your body needs to be adapted to that state in order to be successful in that fat loss phase. So my general rule of thumb for competitors is I want you to be out of a contest prep or fat loss phase, calorie deficit, for double the amount of time that you were in one. So if you had a 6 month prep, I would probably not start you in another prep or even a deficit like a mini cut or something like that until you've been out for a year or longer. So if your prep was 8 months, then I would want you closer to like 16 months off from being in a calorie deficit. There's obviously always going to be outliers. There's going to be people that can handle having a shorter season than that in terms of an off season. But I actually posted about this today. If you are not a top 5 Olympian with very little muscle to actually build in order to improve your placing or or stay the same, if that's what the judges say they want you to do, then you need more muscle. And that means you need more time recovering from your diet, and you need just more time in a surplus to build the muscle that you need. So that is number one. Number two is that the goal physique you have has not been built yet. So kind of piggybacking off of that last reason is you just haven't built the muscle yet. So what makes you think that at the end of this next fat loss phase, you are going to look different? Especially talking to competitors here, your muscle, like it takes time to build it. So if you spent 3 months reverse dieting, you did great, now you're in a place to build, it's going to take more than 3 months to build the muscle that you need to build to actually be competitive or to be unrecognizable or undeniable to the judges. Because think about everyone else that you're going to be on stage with the next time you step on stage. Most of them, they're taking the time off, or maybe they're taking the drugs to take a little less time off or something like that. But they are taking the time off, or they just already have the muscle, and you're If you needed muscle and that was your feedback from last time you were on stage, then you need time to build that muscle. There's just no way around that. Number 3 is you have a poor relationship with food or your body. Your body doesn't care that you want to lose some weight or that you're uncomfortable or that, you really want it. It just cares what you're giving it. And so that's fuel, that's sleep, stress management. If you can't follow a plan in your off season or in a surplus or in a maintenance phase, and you depend on a contest prep or a fat loss phase of any kind to follow a plan, that's a problem, because it will only get worse and it will only feel less and less attainable, and you will only feel less and less in control of your body and your mind if you continue down that path of like kind of fucking off in the off season and in your like non-prep phases or non-fat loss phases, and then like, okay, I'll lock in when I start my contest prep, or I'll lock in when I start my fat loss phase. It just doesn't work like that. Your mind will eventually catch up to that, and it will be really hard to go through your reverse diet after your prep is over and that kind of thing. So if you another part of that is that if you tie your value to how you look, or if you have abs, or if you're in prep and getting ready to compete, then you're never going to be happy. If you think that being leaner or being smaller is going to make you happy, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because that stuff doesn't actually make us happy. As soon as you get there, you're going to be looking for the next thing. You're going to be wishing you were eating more food, or you could go out on a date night with your significant other, or that you could enjoy just a time where you don't have to care that much about your diet or your training or your cardio or something like that. There's a reason off seasons that are longer tend to produce stronger, not only physically, but stronger mentally athletes, is because they're taking the time to get stronger mentally. They're taking the time to make life gains. So like job or career related gains, relationship related gains. I took my last off season, and it was 2.5 years. I moved, I bought a house, I started a really wonderful relationship, I started a business. All of those things, while yes, I could have done them during a prep, I was so much more aware and alert and mentally available to create those things and make those things happen. And I'm so glad that I didn't do them while I was in a contest prep and had that extra stress on myself and on my mind while I did those things. Number 4 is, and I think this is one that a lot of people ignore, is you have unmanaged internal or external health concerns. So maybe you're not going to the bathroom every day. You're constantly bloated or having issues going to the bathroom, having issues with digestion of any kind. Maybe you have a hormonal issue. Maybe it's an underlying condition that you haven't learned to manage yet, something like PCOS, endometriosis, a thyroid condition like Hashimoto's, or hypothyroidism of any kind. So if you don't know how to manage those things and also go through a contest prep, then the contest prep is not going to be very successful. And if it is, you're just getting lucky. So it's really important to, like, if you have any underlying conditions, or if you have anything that makes you not function as well, like a digestion issue or another type of hormonal issue, then manage those and solve those first, because they're only going to get worse during your prep, because the prep itself or the fat loss phase itself is a stress on the body. There's no argument around that. So this is a stress on the body, but then the other stuff that is unmanaged is also a stress on the body. And the body can only do so much. It's only so resilient, especially for females. So it's important that you make sure that your internal shit is taken care of before you start a contest prep, because that's going to make the contest prep or fat loss phase even more successful than it could have been. And it's going to allow for you to have just a smoother ride along that way and know what to do when something comes up, when it, like, in relation to something that you might have underlying, like one of those conditions I mentioned before. Another part is injuries. Same thing. When your body is injured, maybe you have a low back injury, a shoulder injury, something like that. If you aren't already in the healing process and it's not already seeing improvements, then going into a deficit, your body is going to be have a lesser ability and capacity to put energy towards healing that injury. So injuries, even though you feel like, oh yeah, it'll get better, whatever, like it'll be fine, it might not be. So why would you want to bet on it getting better if it's not already getting better? Especially if it's going to only get worse in a contest prep because you have less fuel to give your body to give to that injury recovery. So I hope these things helped. That's just 4 signs. There's definitely more, but I wanted to keep this really short and sweet because I see a lot of athletes going into a contest prep or reaching out to a coach now in February, but they want to compete in August or maybe even sooner. And they just don't realize that there's a reason coaches are with clients or clients are with coaches for the entire year or for a lot of time before they start a contest prep. It's because me as a coach, I want to prepare you to have a successful contest prep. I don't want to just start one because you want to do it. Sometimes you want to do it at the right time and you are ready to do that. And I've definitely taken on clients like that where they've kind of done all of their due diligence before starting their prep. And so that way we can just get started, without a whole lot of prep work. But most people need prep work. And especially if you didn't have as good of a season your last season, if you competed before, you want to make sure that if you're going to put all of the work and time and energy and money into a contest prep, that you are putting your eggs in a basket that is not going to have the bottom fall out. And if you're ignoring any of those 4 signs, you're basically putting your eggs in a faulty basket, if that makes sense. So do your prep work. Look at each phase as a preparation phase for the next phase. So your reverse diet that comes right after your prep or your fat loss phase, that's a preparation phase for a healthy and productive off season. Your healthy and productive off season, however long it might last, that's a preparation phase for your prep. And then sometimes we might do like a pre-prep phase, like maybe a cleanup phase or something to kind of just like dial things up a little bit before we start the prep. That's the prep for the prep. And then the prep is obviously, preparation for the show day. And you don't want to get to show day and spend those 5 minutes you get on stage, maybe a little longer, only to look the same as you did last season, or only to not really be stage lean because you didn't handle your shit in the off season. And you don't want to get there and look back and realize, I really should have prepared for this better. I didn't take this as seriously as I should have. And while it's a hobby, it's just a sport, it's just some silly thing that we do as bodybuilders, it is serious in that it's your body and you only got one. And so you might as well do things in the best possible way for your health, for your longevity, but also for your success in the sport, because you are spending a lot of time, energy, money. You're putting your body through a lot in order to get on stage. So why wouldn't you want to prepare for that in the best way possible? If you're not sure how to prepare for that, that's okay. There's a lot of coaches out there, including myself and my other coaches on Refined Strength, Jess Best and Daraja Weidemoyer. And we can help you prepare for a really successful contest prep, not only because we've been there ourselves as athletes, but because we've taken hundreds of athletes onto the stage and done really well with them because they prepped correctly for the stage and they learned through the process. They learned how to be the best versions of themselves so that they could be the best versions of themselves on stage and win on stage and come out on the other side. So hopefully you like this episode. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me on Instagram, DM Refined Strength Coaching on Instagram, or reach out to us, apply for coaching if you want to learn more. When you apply for coaching, we get started with a consult call where we kind of talk through a lot of this stuff, and I or one of the other coaches understands and learns about where you're at in that journey and how ready you are for a possible contest prep, an off season, or whatever phase you're looking to do. And we can help you get there. Your coach is supposed to be your guiding light and the driver to help you get to the destination, which might be getting on stage, looking a certain way for a photo shoot, a wedding, something like that, or just being the healthiest version of yourself internally and externally. If you guys have ideas for future solo informational educational podcasts, I would love to hear them. So put those in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube, or again, shout us out on Instagram, and we will do our best to take care of you. All right.